It made me so concerned that I would lose my own children, because I saw it happen to people who were just like me, who behaved like me, who parented in the same way like me.
What if I told you that Denmark has separated hundreds of Greenlandic children from their parents after conducting what authorities call parenting competency tests? Some Greenlandic families are now trying to fight the Danish government to get their children back.
It is not okay to take a child from a newborn child from a mother. It is not normal. This has to stop.
It's very important that you put processes and practice in place to actually stop the unjust forced displacements of Inuit children in Denmark.
The tests are meant to determine whether someone is a fit parent, but when they are performed on Greenlandic families living in Denmark, they don't take into account cultural differences, language barriers, or the colonial bias of some experts.
It's not one single test, but it's several psychometric tests that they're using to evaluate a parent's parental skill. And for example, IQ testing was used, the Rorschach ink blot test was used. So we went through many different cases and we saw an overall pattern in the cases of descriptions of the parents, which aligned a lot with the classic Eskimo Orientalistic representations there is of Greenlanders in Denmark. The general assumption is that Greenlandic parents are unfit to be parents, that they are alcoholics, that they have social problems, and that they are not so smart, so lower in hierarchy, you could say.
On average, Greenlandic families are 6 times more likely to have their children taken away by welfare services compared to Danish families.
Often placed in a Danish foster care family, they aren't provided with the necessary tools to be able to learn Greenlandic or learn anything about the Greenlandic culture. A lot of children describe a identity loss, that their language was stolen, and we have seen cases where, for example, kids down to 6 years having suicidal thoughts. We have seen suicides among formerly placed children.
This practice is a legacy of centuries of colonialism. In the 50s, for instance, Denmark abducted several Inuit children from their families as part of an official social experiment. The children were sent to Denmark and placed with foster families to make them European. The goal was simple: to create an indigenous elite. Victims had to wait decades before receiving an apology and compensation from Denmark.
And they're doing exactly the same now. So I think there should be an apology, but most of all, they need to change the way that they view those cases, how they evaluate those cases. They need to be cultural sensitive.
In May 2025, Copenhagen officially ended the parenting competency test for Greenlandic families. They said the tests were not appropriate for Greenlandic culture and that they would review hundreds of cases.
They still do evaluations, but they can't use standardized psychological testing. And also we have seen, for example, I think the number of re-evaluations that they have done now is 21 or 22. Re-evaluating the cases and it being done by primarily Danish people means that it does not remove prejudice and stereotyping about Greenlanders. So I think it's just, we're back to square one, to be frank. This day we haven't seen a single document being translated into Greenlandic, although it's required by law. So there's a lot of work to do. There are so many barriers to justice for Greenlanders in Denmark.
Some of the children have now been separated from their families for years and were permanently adopted by Danish families. For those who were eventually reunited, rebuilding relationships with their family and healing from the trauma often takes years.
It's not enough to say that these tests that have been used as justification to remove those Inuit children just not be used. You need to actually look at how the system works and what is currently being done in terms of still having a structure that keeps taking away Inuit children from their families.